Picture a structure so incredibly massive, so ancient, and honestly, so utterly baffling that even today, 4,500 years after it was built, it's still hiding its most closely guarded secrets. We're talking, of course, about the Great Pyramid of Giza, this colossal monument standing 480 feet tall. But you know what? Our story today actually kicks off with a thrilling, deeply modern moment. Just recently, researchers sent a highly specialized robotic camera deep into the claustrophobic, pitch-black heart of this pyramid. It was creeping along through a narrow shaft until, out of nowhere, it was stopped dead in its tracks. The culprit? A mysterious heavy stone slab, a barricade that had just been sitting there completely undisturbed for literally millennia.
Now, the researchers knew they had to get past it. They were absolutely determined to see what was hiding behind that stone. So they carefully rigged this little robot with a drill, and inch by agonizing inch, they bored a hole right through the slab to peek at the other side. But hold on, before we reveal what was lurking in that pitch-black void, we really need to wrap our heads around the downright impossible scale of the fortress protecting it. See, out of the 138 pyramids scattered across Egypt, this one is the undisputed king. It survived catastrophic earthquakes and devastating storms for thousands of years without shifting a single inch. How is that even possible? Well, let's look at how this was built.
When you stand right at the base of the Great Pyramid, you're looking at a footprint that covers a staggering 13 acres of land. To put that into perspective for us today, just imagine 9 entire full-sized professional football fields placed side by side. That's the exact footprint of just the base of this one single structure. It's a brilliant reminder of the sheer audacity of these ancient engineers. We aren't just talking about a tall building here, we're talking about a sprawling artificial mountain. And the materials they needed to build that mountain, absolutely mind-boggling. The Great Pyramid is made up of roughly 2.3 million individual stones. And we're not talking about easily manageable cinder blocks either. Some of these colossal chunks of rock weigh up to 50 tons each. For a single stone, that's the equivalent weight of 3 fully loaded passenger buses. So when you add all of that up, the total weight of the Great Pyramid hits an estimated 6 million tons. Let that sink in for a second. That is the equivalent of 12 Burj Khalifas, literally the tallest skyscraper in the world today, stacked together. So the million-dollar question is, how on earth did a civilization with zero modern machinery actually pull this off?
Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down 4 seemingly impossible engineering hurdles they had to overcome: aligning and leveling the ground, cutting and moving the limestone, lifting those stones and shaping granite, and finally, nightmare. And the ancient Egyptians didn't have trucks. They certainly couldn't put that kind of crushing weight on the backs of animals either. Instead, they harnessed the power of the river. They loaded these massive stones onto colossal wooden riverboats and floated them down towards Giza. Just imagine the sheer manpower required for that. Experts estimate it took an army of around 500 highly coordinated workers per ship just to load and unload a single block without capsizing the whole vessel. No pressure, right?
Which brings us to challenge number 3, lifting stones and shaping granite. Basically, defying gravity and working with diamond-hard rock.
So how exactly did these 50,000 kilogram stones get hoisted up to a height of 480 feet? The general consensus among researchers points to incredibly complex ramp systems and absolute armies of manual laborers. Now, the exact layout of those ramps? Still heavily debated. Some experts think they built massive spiral tracks winding upward around the outer edges as the pyramid grew. Others argue for gigantic zigzag ramps stretching back and forth across the pyramid's face. Either way, the reality of it remains awe-inspiring: sheer human willpower. Thousands of laborers organized into pull teams, literally dragging these unfathomably heavy stones up steep inclines, block by block, level by level.
But the exterior is only part of the marvel. Inside the pyramid, to create the intricate chambers and small tunnels, the builders used granite. Now, granite is considered one of the hardest stones on Earth, second only to diamond. Even today, you need industrial diamond-tipped grinders to cut it. So how on earth did they achieve flawless, smooth cuts in granite 4,500 years ago? They used a toothless saw. Seriously, it was a flat, heavy copper blade with absolutely no serrated edges. They weighed the blade down heavily and poured a mixture of coarse gravel and sand underneath it. As teams pulled this heavy blade back and forth, the sheer friction of the sand grinding against the rock slowly ate through the granite. It was an agonizingly slow process. Experts estimate it took up to 4 straight months of grueling labor just to make a single cut.
And finally, challenge number 4, that unsolved ancient secret and the robot's big discovery.
That meticulous, back-breaking labor deep inside the pyramid really brings our explainer full circle. Remember the robot from the beginning? The drill attached to that modern robotic camera finally broke through the ancient stone slab. The researchers cleared away the dust, turned on the camera's light, and pushed the lens right through that freshly drilled hole. As the researchers noted at the time, they were looking at a scene no one had witnessed for 4,500 years. It was a sealed chamber, utterly untouched since the days when those brilliant ancient engineers packed up their water trenches, their toothless saws, and their plumb bobs and sealed this monument forever.
Which, of course, leaves us with the ultimate question. What exactly did the camera capture in the dark void behind that slab? Why did they deliberately block off the specific shaft? And when you really stop to consider the millions of hours of grueling labor, the astonishing engineering, and the sheer scale of moving literal mountains of stone, what was the true ultimate purpose driving the creation of these impossible structures? Well, that is exactly what we'll explore the next time we dive into the mysteries of the ancient world. Thanks so much for exploring with me, and keep questioning the impossible.